Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shelby, or better known as Zivalene by the internet, and welcome to the first in what I hope to be a steady new series of videos where I give my take on video games I've played in my 15 years of gaming. To kickstart the series, I'm going to take a look at a game that was swept under the rug and only treasured and valued by a select few gamers out there, one that I think deserves more attention than it received, a little game called Kinetica. Released in the United States of October 2001 by Sony Santa Monica, Kinetica was an early PlayStation 2 title that sought to revamp what recent games stood for. The title was the first to use the Kinetica game engine that would later be used to power Sony Santa Monica's more popular games God of War and God of War 2. Metacritic scores the game at an average 7.7 based on meager 21 individual ratings. When I bring up the game during a conversation with people, most of them say they've never heard of the game, and that's mostly because it sold approximately 320,000 copies worldwide. To put it in retrospect, Mario Kart Double Dash, released in the GameCube in 2003, sold just under 7 million copies. Jack X Combat Racing sold around 500,000 copies, nearly 200,000 units more than Kinetica, but I hope to cover that game at another time. When I first got my PlayStation 2 back in 2001, I had a subscription for demo discs to be mailed to me, and I found this game in the first one that was sent to me. The demo consisted of one level with only 2 playable characters and a making-of trailer. It was enough to make me beg my dad to buy this game for me, and I enjoyed every pulse-pounding minute of it. At its core, Kinetica was a racing game that had never been seen before. Instead of cars or bikes, you play as a selection of 9 racers wearing kinetic suits with wheels literally attached to their hands and feet. These suits allow the racer to achieve speeds of approximately 350 miles per hour, as well as ride up walls and ceilings. To me, this made Kinetica a thrill to play, as I was sent around turns at breakneck speeds, only to head straight up the side of a building with cars flying just above my head, and upside down no less. The game features 9 characters total. 6 of them are available from the beginning, and the remaining 3 need to be unlocked. All of them have an alternate palette swap to give a total of 12 characters participating in a race at any time. Each of the characters have their own variations of performance. Some are faster with wider turns and not so much grip, while others can take corners with ease but lack slightly in the speed department. For example, Sarah is a standard beginning character with average stats. She may be the slowest racer in the game, but she makes up for it for being able to go through most turns without skidding out while everyone else is left to kiss the wall. Vigor, on the other hand, is a hulking brute of speed and resistance to getting knocked around by other riders, but his turning is virtually non-existent. But to win these races, you're going to need more than just speed and good handling. Scattered along each track are glowing yellow crystals that you can pick up. Once you have 5 of them, the game gives you a random power-up to utilize in your race to victory. Most of these are variations of speed boosts that can be executed by holding down the R2 button. These range from 3% boost, which fills your boost meter by about 30%. Infinite boost that lets you hold down the button and keep going and going until the power-up runs out, and super boost, which gives you an immense burst of speed for a short while. In fact, it's such a huge increase in speed that going off jumps while using super boost will likely send you headfirst into an overhead obstacle or off the track completely, so use it wisely. Even if you don't have any power-ups available, there are also boost pads you can use along the track to give you a brief boost of speed as you drive over them. You can also hold down the circle button or the R3 button while you drive over them to siphon the energy from them to use later in the race. The remaining 3 power-ups in the roulette are passive and aggressive abilities used with the L2 button. Drafting allows you to take advantage of a lower position in the back by driving through cones left by other racers, filling up your boost meter along the way. Burst Attack is a quick EMP burst that paralyzes enemy drivers for a short time, allowing you to take their spot in the race. The best part is there is no blue shell in this game, which means you won't be losing any friends in multiplayer mode. The last one is Faster Stunts, that allows you to perform stunts twice as fast as normal for a short period of time. While I'm on the subject, I should clarify what stunts do. Other than being entertaining to watch your racers spew blue ribbons of light from their wheels while performing ballet moves or even kung fu kicks while moving at Mach 1, stunts fill up your boost meter the more you chain together. To perform stunts, you hold down the R1 button and move the left stick in patterns reminiscent to a fighting-style video game, such as half-circle motions and wiggling the stick back and forth. This also takes away your ability to steer the bike, so it's best to use stunts on straight-up-way paths or off jumps. A word of warning when doing air stunts though. If you don't let go of the R1 button before you hit the ground, you'll crash and need to respawn, and cost you any power-ups that you had acquired. However, you'll keep any boost energy that you had in your meter. This also counts towards going too fast off a ramp and falling off the track miles to the sprawling city below. If you get stuck, you can also press the select button to reset your bike. As for a goal in this game, it's just the general win every race, unlock every character in the game kind of thing. You can pick to race a single race, play split screen with a friend, or take on season mode, which pits you against 4 consecutive tracks that get increasingly harder as you go, and you vie to place in 3rd or higher depending on how far you've gotten in the game. If you lose, you have 3 retries for the entire season, and once you lose 4 times, you need to start all over again. After winning each race season, you get a short cinematic of your racer being unmasked and looking rather sexy, which explains the T rating on this game, and unlocks the next season. Achieving first place in each race of the season also nets you a bonus level to try to beat in single mode. These bonus races are more difficult than normal races and perhaps got my heart beating harder than any season race just because they are so damn hard. In these races, you have new opponents added to the pack that typically have higher stats than the rest of the base characters. And if you get first place in these bonus tracks, you unlock that racer to use from then on in the game. Seasons 2 and 3 add these unlockable racers as opponents whether you play as them or not, since each racer has an alternate color scheme just to have 12 racers in the same race at any time. In terms of level variety, the game offers 15 tracks ranging from the streets and walls of city skyscrapers to the decaying ruins of an ancient city. Some tracks, like the Electrica series, dazzle you with intense laser shows as you drive along corkscrew paths and along loop-de-loops. Every stage also has its own shortcuts and hidden paths that give you a major advantage in a race, such as finding a gap in safety rails and moving the race into the ceiling. Most of these shortcuts have purple power-up crystals somewhere along them and act as 5 crystals in one, giving you an instant power-up. The AI racers are always less likely to use the more hidden paths, but are able to break ahead and steal a purple crystal from your grasp on paths that simply branch out from the main path. Most negative comments I see about the game is about the difficulty and the learning curve of the game. I'll admit when I first started playing the game, I had a hard time not running into walls or obstacles when everything on the screen goes by so quickly. Going at such high speeds without a minimap like other games to indicate where a turn is can catch you off guard. At the same time, I wouldn't expect any vehicle going over 200 miles per hour to have perfect handling when going around corners this tight. Ask anyone who watches NASCAR, they're more interested in seeing someone crash than win. Once I familiarized myself with the layout of the tracks and learned how to control my racer to the best of my ability, the game became far less cerebral and more about just having fun and speeding far ahead of the crowd. The game also gives you advanced tips on how to play the game at the loading screens to each level in case you didn't read the manual. Once you win all the races and unlock all the characters, there isn't much else to do besides trying to beat your own best times on each of the tracks and put your initials in the high score table. This was never a bother to me because the soundtrack for the game is one of my most favorite in any video game ever, consisting of fast-paced techno songs along with amazing female vocalists for 3 of the tracks. The songs are picked randomly for each race. Some songs fit certain levels better than others, and when the two are paired together, such as the slower vocal songs with the natural settings and the fast-tempo electronic songs for the cities and power plants. The only track that has a set song is the final track, Orbital Junction 2, where the theme from the introduction cinematic plays, giving you the same sense that all your victories have come together to bring you to this point in the game. The only shame is that most of the track names are not obvious giveaways to the corresponding song, so finding a certain track on YouTube is a little difficult if you don't want to keep restarting the race just to listen to a certain song. All in all, I think Kinetica is a desperately underrated racing game, one that anyone who likes racing games should at least try for themselves. While the game may be dated in today's standards, it's still a unique game in the genre due to the ambitious character and level design. If you still have your old PlayStation 2 or a functioning backwards compatible PlayStation 3, the game is less than $20 on Amazon if you're willing to try it. For an early PlayStation 2 title, it looks and feels like a dream once you get used to the controls. And that wraps up my review for Kinetica, and it's only the first of many games I hope to review. Tell me what you think in the comments section, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching, guys, and never stop gaming!